Take a look at this. 50 years separate these first ladies of fashion, seen with their commander-in-chief husband. Superstar designer John Varvatos has a lot to say about what happens when fashion meets politics. Also got a new book out which combines two very sexy art forms, rock and roll and high fashion. The book is appropriately titled Rock in Fashion. And John joins me now. Welcome to you.
Pleasure to be here. Thank you.
Fabulous book, and I've actually alighted on this amazing set of three pictures of probably the three great, arguably rock icons of my lifetime: Lou Reed, Mick Jagger, John Lennon.
Not a bad threesome, right?
To be a great rock legend, do you have to have a dash of fashion panache about you?
I don't know that you have to. You can be a great songwriter, a great singer, but that swagger, that extra swagger is something that becomes more memorable, and it adds to the stage performance, it adds to your presence there, and it adds to your, how people view you, I think, in the public's eye.
Your stuff is so cool that I struggle to be even allowed into the stores to buy it, which is one of my problems. But what is the association between you and rock and roll when it comes to your clothes? It's obviously very clear from the book, but tell me about it.
Well, I was very inspired. I grew up in Detroit, and I was very inspired. Music was the thing that was kind of the energy force for me growing up. It was one of the only things to grab onto growing up in Detroit, too. And throughout my design career, I've always kind of looked back on the past, because there's a great history both in fashion and rock and roll, and there's always those kind of snippets of influence. Every season there's something that loosely I kind of reach for back in the past, and I also noticed that all the young artists of every generation look back in time, and they want to look like, and they make it their own, just like I take bits and pieces and you make it your own and you put your own handwriting on it. And that's kind of the association. And my brand has been very connected since we started with musicians, and and there's ads of ours, a few that are in the book as well, that we have iconic artists in all of our ads.
Tell me about Detroit, because obviously when you see Detroit filing for bankruptcy, for someone like you that was born, raised there, always established yourself as a great Detroit man, that must be heartbreaking for you. What is the solution to Detroit's problems, do you think?
Boy, if I knew that. I think it's tough. It's tough. It's been that way for so many years, and there's been a lot of bad leadership in Detroit over the years, But I think it's on the road. It's not just the city of Detroit. It's the whole state of Michigan that was hit by the downturn in the economy, the automobile industry falling down. But I see movement again, and I think it needs great leadership. It's just like this country. I think it needs great leadership.
What do you make of America right now? There's so many different views about the way America should go. I've had a big thing the last couple of years about the fact that even a company like Apple outsources 90% of its jobs. Just today they've announced they're going to open a new factory here in America, which is a start, I think. It's in Arizona. It's a start, but should more great American success stories be thinking more insular, stop outsourcing so much?
I think we are. I think a lot of people are thinking about Made in America today, and it's not just from a political standpoint. It's from the heart. And we've seen it come out of Detroit with Chrysler and the other Detroit brands that have really promoted Made in America,
right.
Born in Detroit, that type of thing. And so for me, that's a big part of it as well, is being involved with all of that and continuing to be involved with the city. Is a part of kind of, it's an emotional thing as well.
We're watching actually a clip here of your Chrysler ad, which, like everything you do, is impossibly cool. Iggy Pop, Chrysler cars. What more could you possibly
Another
want?
Detroit, icon, Iggy Pop. He was one of my icons growing up.
Who was the coolest? When you finished the book and you saw all these amazing people, who was the coolest rock icon in terms of music,
that's
fashion?
That's a tough one. That's a tough one. But if I really had to dig down deep, and because a lot of them are friends, and Iggy was one of those guys, and Jimmy Page, and I'd have to say Jimi Hendrix.
Really? Why Jimi Hendrix?
First of all, musically, he shattered everything that was out there at the time when he came on. All of the great artists, whether it was the Beatles or Eric Clapton at the time or the Who, they were all afraid of Jimi Hendrix because he was so powerful musically. Nothing sounded sonically like that ever before. And he had a style about himself that was so different than everybody else and so cool. And I still look at that style and I'm still influenced by him.
He was a complete legend. John Varvatos, great to meet you. It's a fantastic book. I recommend it to people. It's called Rock in Fashion. You can get it on Amazon and johnvarvatos.com. Really good to see you.
Pleasure. Thank you
Hopefully
so much.
I can get into one of your stores and actually wear and buy some of your clothes.
We definitely can take care of it.
Is there any chance?
Absolutely.
Looking at this? I'll try. Good to see you.